they're mainly about your channel, the process of how you create it, and then I want to talk about diversity and inclusion, this kind of things, right? And then also about games.
Yeah.
So this is mainly it. How are you feeling about it?
This is what I live for. We love talking about games, and we love talking about, changing the hobby to make it more inclusive for everyone. So this is it. I'm ready.
Olá! Antes da gente começar a entrevista, eu só queria falar um pouquinho da Starla, caso você não conheça. Ela faz parte do Our Family Plays Games, que é uma página no YouTube e também eles começaram antes do YouTube, eles estão no Instagram, Facebook, enfim, eles estão há alguns anos já falando sobre jogos. E é uma família negra nos Estados Unidos que tem um propósito incrível de trazer mais inclusão e diversidade para o nosso mundo dos board games e também atrair mais famílias para o nosso hobby. E eles são incríveis e a gente teve o prazer imenso de poder entrevistar a Starla como uma mulher tabuleirista também. E aí, é isso, basicamente. Eu espero que você goste. Um beijo e aproveite a entrevista. Starla, thank you so much for being here with me. I'm thrilled. I'm actually over the moon right now.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Fernanda, for having me. I'm excited to be here as well.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so good. I would like to start by celebrating because I know that in a few days you're gonna have your 100th episode.
Yes, we are so excited. We are celebrating 100 episodes. Now, if you go to our channel, and that's Our Family Plays Games, I'm one half of that. A lot of times you'll see us and you'll see I'm Starla and I'm Mick. Well, Mick is not here today. It's just me. So, but if you go to our channel, we've been talking about a 100 episode, and people think, oh, you only done 100 videos. No, we've done almost 141 or 2, but we're talking about our numbered episodes, the ones that we actually put a number on. So this is number 100. We're not including playthroughs and interviews and all of that. That's also on our channel. So just the ones that have a number. We've done 100 of those, and we're so excited because, we celebrated 50 last year. And people say, well, why are you celebrating 50? Well, we didn't know we were going to make 50. So now we made 100. And we just decided to, celebrate by giving back to the people who watch us on a regular basis. That's why we're going to do a games giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
To celebrate 100. We're telling everybody, to send in your information so you can win some great games. I mean, we have some of the hottest games on the market that we are giving away from some awesome publishers such as KTBG and Board and Dice, 25th Century. We've got some great publishers, great games. You need to enter this contest.
Oh my God, this is just absolutely amazing. And I don't know, I mean, how are you feeling about it? Because it's a lot of episodes, right?
It's a lot. I mean, because this is not a full-time job for me and my husband. We work other jobs, and then we're parents to a teenager who's a senior this year, and he's graduating. So we've got a lot going on. Thank you so much. We've got a lot going on, but we have a passion for this hobby. We just love what the hobby has done for us as a family, and for our son. We talk to a lot of families that have teenagers. Get them unplugged off the video games, let them get to the table, and you will see a difference in your child. You will get a chance to see how your child interacts with you by touching the pieces and reading and all the other things that board games have you do. So it's just a wonderful thing for families, and we really want people of color to get involved with this, because so many times that our families think the only thing you can give your kids is a Nintendo or a Xbox or PlayStation. Give them a board game, interact with your child, be involved. And it's not just for children, because some of these games are not kids games. I mean, if you're a couple, me and my husband, we love playing, just each other. So we can strategize and go head to head. They just bring so many hours of enjoyment.
That's really nice what you're saying, especially because I remember at the beginning of your YouTube channel, I remember you saying that he wasn't there all the time playing with you because he preferred video games, right? So
Yes,
would you say that
yes.
now he's more into it? Do you see a change? Because now I can see him more often, right?
Yeah, well, I don't see a change. He still prefers
Okay.
video games. He still prefers it, but he will come to the table. And what I love about our son now is that he actually puts more of opinion on the games. Where before we would teaching him games and he would just play whatever we taught him. Now he'll tell us, Mom, I really like this game and I like it for X, Y, Z. Or I don't like this
Mm.
game and I don't like it for X, Y, Z. So I'm seeing the intellect, the thought process around why games are good for him.
Oh,
And
that's
those reasons that
awesome.
he likes or doesn't like a game may differ from us. So we get that whole teenage perspective on what will attract a teenager to the board game table.
That's really nice. That's actually really nice, especially because I mean, during the pandemic as well, right? We had to stay at home, so it's good to have this. Well, we can say that it could be a hobby, but just spending time with your family, right? And your channel is always talking about it, like spend time with your family, with the ones you love. This is
That's
so
right.
inspiring.
Thank you. But yeah, during the pandemic, it was perfect because if we did not have board games as a love or a passion for us, I think our son would have really lost himself into video games. Because it's so easy as a parent to say, okay, you've done your homework, so just go play something. But we like to engage with him. We want to talk to him. And if we didn't have this shared love for board games, and during the pandemic, I don't know what we would have done because we couldn't go out, we couldn't do activities where, when on a regular time, we would go to an activity, we'll go to the park or whatever. You really couldn't do that during the pandemic. So board games were really a way for us to interact as a family, and we loved it.
That's super cool. And another thing that you made me another thing that you said that reminded me that um, your channel is also, I mean, it's about family, right? So you were saying about Grant, and for people that don't know, Grant is their son, and he's also involved not only playing, right? Because he does a lot of things, right?
He's our editor. He edits our videos. We call him the wizard because he will put some magic on it. We wouldn't look as good without him. And we did not know he had a talent for editing until we started this channel. And
Wow.
now he's going to go to college for video editing. That's what he wants to do now.
Oh my God, that's absolutely amazing.
Yes.
That's awesome. And now that you said that, how was the process of you creating the channel? Because I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure how it is for you, but for Black people, I mean, I can say it about myself, and I heard this a lot from other friends that are also Black, and then they're like, well, they have second thoughts about most of the things they decided to create. So how was it for you? Do you feel like this as well, or that was not on the table at all?
Well, when we started the channel, we didn't, or when we started Our Family Plays Games, not the channel, but just the entity, Our Family Plays Games, that
Mm,
was in 2018.
all
And we
right.
started that on social media.
Okay.
So we just had Facebook and Instagram. And the reason we started it was because we were getting involved in the board game hobby. We were going to different meetups and conventions, and we did not see people of color at all. So we would walk into a convention, 300 people in the room, and we would bring the diversity. So it would be
Exactly.
us and 300 people who were not of color. And so we kept seeing that. And it got to a point where Grant didn't want to go. He's like, well, I don't want to go. There's no kids here. There's nobody to play with. There's no people of
Mm,
color. It's just us. And so I was like, well, that's ridiculous. Why should he not want to play games around other people because he feels, kind of self-conscious or feels weird because we're the only people of color in the entire room of people.
yeah.
And I didn't want him to feel that. So I was telling my husband, we need to do something. We need to, put out something to let other people of color know that this hobby exists and that it's a great hobby for families and we're doing it. So come join us. So we said, okay, well, let's just do social media. Let's just do Facebook. And on Facebook, we had gotten some followers. We had a couple of hundred followers and people would chat with us and everything. But these were followers from all around the world, not just in our area where we were at the
Hmm.
time, which was Houston, Texas. So it's like, okay, how can we affect more people in the area that we're in? So by the time we decided to do YouTube, we had already moved to Omaha, Nebraska. So we went from Houston, Texas, which is the fourth largest city in the US, and it's very diverse, to Omaha, Nebraska, which is not so diverse.
Not as much.
Not so much. But we decided we were going to step out anyway so that we could meet other people. And we did. We met people of color in the hobby through our channel. And then we met people who are not of color who believe in diversity. And we really appreciate the support of those who are not of color who believe in what we're doing.
Yeah, that's something that you're saying that is really inspiring, because sometimes that's the thing that's what can drives you. It's this need of change, of seeing change, right? Even if you stop to think about it, and maybe you can even think like, oh, but why me?
Yeah.
But if you have this desire to see change, maybe you can start by you, right? By you being the change.
What my mother taught me, she always taught me, be the change you want to see. That's a quote. I forget who said it, but my mother always said that. Well, if you want to see change, do it yourself, And so I've been an entrepreneur for a long time. I've always had a business and a job, and because I've always liked crafting things and putting things together. So for me to step out, and for the family to step out together and say, we're going to put ourselves out there and see what happens. Let's see if we can grow it. And we were a little nervous at first, because YouTube is a world stage. It's not just confined to your area. And in the beginning, it was a slow growth. But then we got picked up by the Dice Tower. And then from the Dice Tower, Watch It Played said, hey, let's help them grow this channel. I like these people. And then after Watch It Played, then Good Morning America shows up. And then after Good Morning America, NBC News. So it was just one after the other. And it was so awesome because these people believed in what we were trying to do, to take a hobby that is predominantly white and male and open it up to other people of color, of women, LGBTQ, all of those things, and have them enjoy it. People believed in that, and we appreciate that.
That's amazing, because this is actually my next question to you, because I was going to say exactly that it feels to me, by watching from far, right, from outside your world, it feels to me that the community is embracing you. People are like, you're growing. It feels, I see the numbers and I'm like, I remember when I first started watching your videos, and then I see it now and I'm like, wait, there's a huge difference. So would you say that this is happening? Do you feel this happening?
I think, especially in the US, but again, we have a worldwide following, but I feel that the more people try to push race relations and push diversity backwards, there's always going to be a group of people that are going to say, no, we don't want to go back. We want to move forward. And those are the people who embrace us. We want to move forward. We want to see diversity. We want to see everybody be appreciated. We want to see everybody at the table. And that message went so far beyond where we ever thought it would go, for the fact that I'm talking to you in Brazil. And, we've talked to people in Australia. We've been interviewed in Australia, in Mexico, and in the UK. And we actually work with the company now in Poland. Who would have thought somebody in Poland would want to talk with us, but they want to improve, how they make their games. So we're working with Board and Dice. We are their diversity and inclusion consultants. And they don't have that, because Poland can be quite a homogenous country because it's not that many people there. Where America, we have so many different races and cultures. And I feel so proud that the message that we have for just our little family, that we just wanted to see things better, that people embrace that, and it makes us so happy.
And it's so powerful, because I'm skipping my questions. It's so good. It's so spontaneous right now. So one thing that I wrote that I really wanted to talk is about diversity and inclusion, and specifically about a post that you posted twice, if I remember correctly, that is about diversity and plus inclusion, right? Because this too can be really mixed up, I would say, right? People would say that, okay, let's just have our black token here, and then we are diverse. We believe in this, da, da, da. But they don't really listen to us. They don't really want us to do or to create any change. So do you feel like, I mean, you have already talked about it a little bit when you said about Dice Tower and so many other great and huge people that are working in our community. Do you feel like more and more people and sponsors as well, or editors, or I don't know, maybe we can say it, big fish, I don't know if this is a good expression to say, but do you feel like they're more about diversity or more about diversity and inclusion? How do you feel it?
Well, you know, I think everybody can be on board with diversity.
Okay.
Because nobody wants to feel as if their organization is excluding anyone. So we can put diverse, like you said, you can have that token person there and say, oh, we're diverse. But I think where the real confusion comes is inclusion, because I think people think those words are interchangeable, but they're not. Diversity, yes, you've got people of color here, you've got women, you've got those things, but do you let them speak? Do you listen to what they say? Is their voice important? Are they being heard? That's where inclusion comes in. And people kind of, that's where the pushback comes from. Well, we'll let you come to the convention, but don't say anything. Just sit here and we can show that we're diverse. No, we want the whole package. If we come to your convention, we're going to say something. So.
Exactly. And this is something that you say, and then you keep remembering people so they know who you are, right? So, because otherwise it will be just exactly another token that people will be like, oh yes, we're diverse, and that's not about it. I mean, we want to see more people of color around the places, but we won't really see change, right? So it's really good that you have this kind of position, this kind of statement.
Well, what we're hoping and what we are seeing is that there is change happening. I'm just proud to say that because we've been here, several publishers have rethought games they were going to put out, where we've talked about where publishers will do a game and they'll put this game out with one race of people talking about just one type of culture and totally forget or forgot that there were other people there of other races and other cultures, and they forgot us. And so what we're telling people, we're not asking you to change your game and add a space for us. We're asking you, when you do this game, to include us anyway. If you do a game that's set in the 1920s USA, we were here. Don't forget us.
We existed, right?
You know, so we want to make sure that we're not forgotten. And it's so easy to do that when you've got this room of people who's developing the game. They all look alike. They don't look like us. And so are they going to see things from their perspective? So what we're asking publishers and other people in the hobby to do is look beyond you. Look beyond you. And they have a hard time doing that. And because, you know, some of the pushback we have received from some people is that, you know, I'm just going to say, Black people, y'all just want people to do things for you. No, that's not it. We just don't want you to forget that we're here. You know, we were already here. We didn't ask for you to write a special role, do anything different. You just forgot that we were here. So you need to fix that mistake. We're not the ones adding something extra. You just made a mistake, you know? And so now publishers are more like, oh, you know what? We did. We forgot that Native Americans were here. Oh, we forgot that, you know, Asian Americans were here. And I'm only speaking of America because I can't speak of other countries. Mm-hmm. So we forgot that Black Americans were here. How did you forget us? We were here. We're in the history books. And for me, it gets frustrating because, okay, 20, 35 years ago, maybe you didn't do your research. You didn't go to the library. Now you have Google. Google it. Just Google it. That's all you have to do.
That's not difficult.
Right there on your phone. You've got it in the palm of your hand. Google it. Did Black people exist during this time period? Did Native Americans? That's all you have to do. That's it.
And exactly. And this is, oh my God, it's so good to hear this from you, because that's exactly what I think as well. And then And it's funny how people can get defensive, right? I mean, because that's what you're saying. Like, they're like, oh no, do you want a special role? Do you want something different?
special treatment. No.
Exactly. And no, just a knowledge that I
Yes.
was there.
Yeah, we were there.
Like,
So yeah, so that's the thing, is to get people who are not of color to just acknowledge our presence and give us credit for our contributions.
ooh, that's awesome.
Mhm.
That's really, really good.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's not that hard.
It's not hard. You can Google it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, that's good that you're saying that, because I would like to ask you if you have some advice for our, I would say, our publishers here in Brazil, because here's the thing. Um, Most of them have this beautiful speech of diversity,
Yeah.
um, but actually they don't really know how to make a change. And
Mm.
sometimes they are expecting us, minorities, to be as
Mhm.
big as,
Yeah.
right,
Yes.
as the regular people creating
Yeah. Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And we are just not yet.
Mhm.
And sometimes we need help. Sometimes we need sponsors.
Mhm.
Sometimes we need somebody. And that's one thing that you said at the beginning of our talk, that you said that the people that are going with you and kind of, um, I would say, like walking
Mhm.
together with
Yeah.
you, they are people that are believing in you.
Mhm.
And sometimes this is something that I miss here in Brazil. Sometimes I feel like they kind of they're kind of scared, or they
Mhm.
don't believe enough. So I don't know, do you have an advice to what people can actually do
Mhm.
to stop being afraid, or to start believing, or to just really create change
Mhm.
and go from diversity to inclusion?
Yeah. Well, another saying my mother always taught me was to meet people where they are.
Mm.
And too often, folks don't do that. They want you to be where they are. Why don't you have $1 million to start this gaming company? We have $1 million. Well, now let's go back historically. Our ancestors were deprived of opportunity. They were, especially in America, we had thriving African American towns that were burned to the ground. So we're starting over and over again. We face discrimination every day. So you want to know why we don't have $1 million to start this company? There you go. And then when they want to come back and say, well, you have opportunities now. You've got colleges, you've got the, yeah, but we're still starting back 50 feet from where you started. So meet us where we are. Realize it, and not meet us and say, oh, those poor people, oh, they don't. No, we're not looking for a handout. We're just looking for a hand up, not a
Oh,
handout.
that's awesome. Yes.
Yeah, so that's what publishers have to think. When you have a small minority run gaming company or any type of company, and you wonder why they're bootstrapping it and they're putting it all on the line because that's all they have. Where you, on the other hand, historically, you had a chance to have your father or your mother, who's a lawyer or a doctor, or this wealth that you inherited from 5 generations. Oh, well, putting 50,000 down to start a company is nothing for you. But for some people, you've got to get together with a group of folks to get that $50,000, and there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make you less than. It's just that we are working with the situation at hand, and that's what we do.
Exactly.
That's what we do.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Oh my God, that's perfect. I want to print this. Okay, let's make a T-shirt of it.
I have a lot of sayings, and a lot of them came from my mother. God rest her soul. She passed away, 17, 18 years ago now. But she was a wise woman,
Oh
very
my
wise woman.
God. Yeah, I already love her. I mean, the things that you're saying, that they are so, again, I'm probably gonna use this word a lot. It's so inspiring. It's
Thank you.
just, it's so good, and so good to think about it, because I was talking to a friend uh, recently, and getting we were starting to get a little bit tired about talking about the importance of diversity and inclusion, blah 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 blah, because we started noticing that the people that were watching us were always the same people, right? It's always
Mhm.
the same people. So we were not being able, I mean, we thought maybe we
Mhm.
are, right? But it had that impression on us that we weren't actually being able to spread the word, you know, like
Mhm.
to really get in touch, or not get in touch, but to really spread the word. I think that's the right expression for this
Yeah.
thing. Because so I don't know, so when you say that, when you say like, okay, so here's what you can do, you that don't know how to do it,
Mhm.
just meet us where we are,
Meet
right?
us where
So
we
this
are.
is so good, it's so good.
Yeah. And I love to use that a lot because it's so easy for someone to look down their nose at someone, look at someone and say, oh, I'm better than they are. They should be better. Well, let's look at where we are and let's go back and historically figure out how we got to this point and how you got to this point.
Yeah.
And then you'll understand it better. And I always do that with anybody I talk to. I never feel like I'm better than anyone or because my opportunities were different or their opportunities were different. People are people, and if you meet them where they are, you can find a wonderful person, say, oh my god, they had some horrible struggles, but look at what they've done with their lives, instead of, oh, that person is nothing. You don't know what it took for them to get to where they are. You don't
Oh
know.
yeah.
But if you meet them where they are, you talk to them, you find out about them. That's what you have to. People don't want to conversate anymore. They don't want to talk. They
Hmm.
just want to make opinions and make judgments, and just write people off. We don't. And I guess I don't know if I guess we value education, but sometimes I feel like people don't use the education that they have to just think with common sense. Just think.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's so good, so good. And when you think about this, and I mean, you have for almost 2 years channel right now,
Mhm.
right? It's
It'll be 2 years
almost
in
2 years.
January. Yeah.
Exactly. I remember it was at the beginning of the year. So almost 2 years now. And then have you seen any change about this? I mean, because you've started something new,
Mhm.
and this is something that is great, it's amazing. But at the same time, you've started something new. So things might get tough
Mhm.
and maybe we'll go slow. And but in 2 years, almost 2 years,
Yeah.
did you feel any change? Did you see this? How was it?
Well, I feel as far as our channel, the growth that we've seen and the eyes that we've opened, the comments that we get from people who didn't understand this or didn't realize this or never thought about that, and we were able to help them think about something and to think about it in a positive way. We're not trying to beat this over the head. We're just telling you again to meet us where we are and and be inclusive, be open to change. And then a lot of people who wanted change were finding themselves, being drowned out by those who didn't want
Mm.
change. So when we come in and we say, we don't care what you think about us, this is our message, this is our mission. And now those people were empowered to say, you know what, we're going to stand with OFPG. We're going to follow what they say and we're going to help them, grow, because a lot of people just didn't have that support. And we're out here to give them that support. So yeah, I've seen change. Like again, some of the publishers we've talked to who were not thinking about anyone else outside of their circle of reality are now doing that. That's change and that is progress.
That's amazing. We should celebrate this because it's huge. It's huge. It's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
it's again inspiring.
Thank you.
It's so, so good. I don't know. I mean, well, you're talking also about this change, and then different people, publishers creating different games. Would you say that now it doesn't, I mean, it doesn't really need to be related to diversity itself, but do you think that you are more critical now about the games you're going to play, or do you think that you were always critical, you always knew the ones that you were like, no, 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 I'm not gonna play this one? How is it for you?
I think we've always been critical of the
Okay.
games. One of the biggest controversies we started in the beginning was the fact that we did not like Freedom, the Underground Railroad. We put that in our first Black History episode, and we told the reasons why, that slavery was not a game. It's
Mm-hmm.
not fun for me to imagine my ancestors as little cubes being chased around a board, by someone who's supposed to be a white person who's going to catch us and return us to slavery. That is not a game. And we've told people we cannot play with that topic, no more so than we would play with the Holocaust. We're not going to play with people being put in gas chambers. We're not going to do that. So you've got to have a standard. And then the people who created freedom, the Underground Railroad, of course, were not people of color. So for them, they can take that topic and make it a game because it's not real to them. It's not part of their heritage. It's not part of their history. But for us, people of color, I cannot play with that. And we felt that way from the beginning. And so that was one of the things that we were a little nervous about saying this, but I told my husband, if we're not going to be real on this show, then we shouldn't do it. So we came out and we said it. We said it as nicely as possible, but we did say what we said, and we made our point that we're not going to play with topics that are going to hurt people or be disrespectful to the history of people. We don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's really good. That's really good because I feel this exactly like this as well. And I would say that for me, at the beginning, I wasn't that critical. At the very beginning, I would play whatever was on the table, but now I can see a few years later, I'm like, no, I just can't.
Right. You're more discerning now. You're more discerning.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think that I guess we have grown a little more discerning because I always tell people, I say, well, Starla, you don't do co-op, you don't like this game. I don't have to like everything.
Exactly.
There's different strokes for different folks. I don't have to like it all. There are too many games for me to like every game on the market. Now, my husband, on the other hand, he likes everything. But for me, I just, I pick those games that give me enjoyment, that make me happy. Because again, this is a game hobby. I don't want to be at the table frustrated or cringy because I'm playing with something that may be insulting someone. No, when I sit down at the table, I am down here to have a good time. And that may be a strategy game. I like difficult games, but for me at that moment, strategy is fun. Or that may be a party game. I like, games like Sushi Go. And, so the main point is I want to have fun when I'm at the gaming table. And we have enough topics and we have enough people out here that we can figure out a way to make a particular topic fun without insulting that person. And if you cannot figure that out, then it shouldn't be a game.
Oh, that's actually really cool. That's a really good thing to say. And I totally agree with that because, and especially about what you said about there are just so many games and I don't have to like them all. I think that this is kind of, I don't know. I mean, it makes me feel even free. I feel free right now when I think about it.
Yeah, don't let anyone try to guilt you into playing the game. I'm totally strong about that on our channel. I don't like it. I'm not going to play it. And I don't have any guilt in that because I don't have to like everything. I don't like all the foods that are out there. I don't like all the TV programs that are out there. I don't like all the movies that are out there. And I just, have to be discerning on what I decide to play. And I know I've pissed some publishers off because I know the publisher of Freedom, the Underground Railroad. We've talked with him and he's not happy that we won't endorse his game. I'm sorry. Can I do that? Sorry.
Yeah.
He wants to say, oh, it's educational. It's still, you have minimized the struggles of African Americans in America. So that to me is not educational. So, but that's another whole story.
That's another whole story. Yeah, but I love it. I love it. And I have this kind of relationship with the game here that it's kind of a huge one here in Brazil. It's from a Brazilian designer, and that's just people are loving it, and I'm pretty sure that the game is awesome. It probably is, but the thing for me is that, well, it's just minimizing the story about us. It's we're not really there the way things happened. So in a way, for me, it's like, well, I don't know. I mean, there's just so many other games that I love and that are telling, and that's the thing, they are choosing to tell a different story. Because I think that's also about choice, right?
I agree. Very much so. And the choice is to make their particular culture be looked at in a more positive light than the culture that they put on this game. And yeah, it's yeah, it's right? A supremacy choice. And yeah, we have to look at that too. Unfortunately, in the hobby, there are not enough people of color that we can't, vote with our dollars. In America, we're really about voting with your dollars. If you don't like something, don't buy it. But when you've got this one group of people who dominate the hobby, they don't see how this game is offensive, so they're going to support it. And so that particular, my game is because I've sold a bunch of them. But then you've insulted a small group of us. But our job as our family plays games is to grow that group so that when something like that hits the market, we can vote with our dollars and not buy that game. So maybe you'll think next time before you put a game out there that's going to insult somebody, and you don't have to insult people. There's just so much more you can do.
Exactly. You can choose differently, right?
Yeah, do it. Yeah, choose differently. You don't have to insult. You don't have to minimize or do any of that to someone's culture or history. You don't have to do that.
Exactly. And that's what we're just saying, right? I mean, if you don't know how or whatever, Google it. It's not that hard. So I mean, we don't need to keep teaching you. That's
exactly. And we don't have to keep teaching you. Google is there. All the information is right there.
Oh my God. And then there's another thing that I would like to know that I know that you receive a lot of games right now from publishers, right?
Yes.
So how do you do when you, I mean, I'm not sure if it have already happened, but if it has, how do you do when you play a game you don't like? Do you talk about it or you just decided not to? And how is the process of decision?
Well, we did not want to have our channel be one where we bash games, because we do understand the power of our words on this channel. Because again, just with Freedom, the Underground Railroad, we know how that publisher felt, and because we were honest and said we just didn't like the game. And there's one other game we've talked about that we did not like, and there was power in that as well. So for us, if we're not talking about it and you sent it to us, then there's a reason.
Okay.
And we're not going to promote something that we don't enjoy. I don't know if in the future we'll ever do a list of games that we don't like. We may not, I don't know. I think the only games that we really will step out and say something on that may be negative are things that insult someone's culture or someone's lifestyle, or something that's going to be offensive to a way a person lives. Those are the kind of games, to me, it's important that you say something. But if it's just a game that I didn't like the mechanics of it, I'm just not going to promote it. We're just not going to talk about it. Make a better game. And then sometimes people will send us stuff or, ask us to look at stuff, and we will turn them down. We're just like, you know what, this is just not for us. It's just not a good fit for what we say and what we do. And so we've had to turn down a lot of games, even though we get sent a lot that we don't ask for.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
And that's actually really good that you're saying that, because I read a lot of comments from people here in Brazil, at least, that they are like, oh, this particular channel, they're always talking how good the games are. And people that create content that they are influencing other people and they have their own channel, they usually say like, well, I'm not saying because I don't want to talk about something that I don't like. That's why.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's so good to hear this from you as well. It's really good.
Yeah, because we find that here, a lot of people, especially in YouTube world, they really run to the negative. So if you've got someone on the channel saying, I'm going to talk about 10 games I hate, their numbers go through the roof because people want to hear the bad. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I would rather talk to the publisher via email and explain to them, which we have, this is just not a fit for us, and here are the reasons why. And if they're upset with us, that's fine. But for me to go out and bash them and start a bunch of controversy, I'm not going to do that. Now, if you ask me about a game, I'm going to give you my honest opinion. Starla, do you like this game? No. I'm going to give my honest opinion. But for us to make a show about it, no.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good to know. Oh my God, our time is almost over, but I have so many other questions. Okay, I can make it. I believe in us. It's so fast. I was looking at the time and I was, oh my God. Okay, so let's talk about games, right? That's another thing that we like pretty much.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so well, this question is one that I don't know if you will have an answer to, but
Okay.
have you created some habit since you started playing games? Something that you can see that is like, oh, this is something that I do because I play games.
No, I don't think I have any habits. Um, no, I don't think so. I'm very analytical in my thought process. And so I play games the exact same way. Yeah, no habits right now that I can think of, other than in having the enjoyment of beating my husband. I enjoy that a lot. That's when we sit at the table, I get a chance to win. That's always fun.
Oh, that's super cool. And have you already played a game created by a Brazilian?
We have not, I don't think so. I don't think we have any
Mm.
Brazilian games.
Oh my God.
Mm.
Publishers,
Yes, send it our
publishers,
way.
please. You're
We got
missing
games
out
in a
on
lot of countries, but I don't think Brazil is one.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. I mean, you definitely play the card game that we are creating. You will. You
I
will.
can't wait to see it. I cannot wait. I'm excited about that.
I hope you will like it. It's we're really excited. Um yeah, so you definitely will play this one for sure. And then, well, actually Brazil has, I mean, it has been growing, I would say, the market, right? So I think that the next year or so we were gonna have more and more games going outside of Brazil. So I do hope that pretty soon, yeah, you're gonna play some.
Yeah, because we see that in Nigeria. There's one guy that we follow on social media, and he's really working hard to build up, board gaming conventions in Nigeria. And so we like to support him. I just think it's great that, other cultures and countries are doing this. I mean, board games are for everybody. Almost every culture has had some type of game in its history, because people like to entertain themselves. They like to wind down. They like to have fun with each other. So every country and culture has a gaming industry. And I'm just happy to see that modern board games are making their way into every country and culture.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. We have here at Liga, we have this kind of dream that we would like to make board games part of part of the culture.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
be something that people just know and use it. So, for example, we have another project going on that it's about. So let's say that you like to I don't know, to travel to Portugal, let's say, and then you're going to Portugal, and then maybe you need to know a little bit more about the country, and then maybe you, instead of just reading some travel books about Portugal or history books about Portugal or going to a travel agency and knowing where to go, you could also maybe play Coimbra, for example. This kind of things, and maybe you could play Lisboa, and then you learn more about that place you're
Yeah.
going.
Exactly. Exactly. I
So
agree.
maybe one day. And well, this one is actually, I mean, I'm really curious to know if do you see yourself creating your own board game?
We've been asked that question several times. My husband always says no. I'm on the fence on that one. I don't know. We may come up with an idea. So never say never. We don't know.
Right. That's a good answer. Maybe one day I will have a game made by you. That would be amazing.
Maybe so. Maybe so. That would be awesome.
Well, I mean, okay, let's just imagine things. If you would create something, a game, do you have a thing? Do you know something that you would like to be like, okay, maybe I would create something about this?
I don't know, because I haven't given it enough thought. I know I don't know if I would do something historical, because I just want people to sit at the table and just relax, and just have fun. So I don't know, because there's so many games here that I'm like, gosh, I wish I thought about that. Just the one over my shoulder here, Chai. The game about tea.
Oh, yes,
Like,
I really want to play
that
this
is
one.
so unique. You made a game about tea, and at a tea house, and people are getting served tea. That was such a unique concept, and wish I thought about it. Not.
Oh my God. Or even about birds, right? Like wingspan.
Wingspan and then
Exactly.
fossilists about bones and doing the architecture work and all that, paleontologists and all. I wish I thought about that. Didn't think about it.
They were faster.
They were.
That's so good. Um, and then, okay, so this one, it's not exactly related to games. It's more about your life, but you can answer the way you want it. What inspires you?
Oh, wow. I think what inspires me the most is my family. Again, I have one child, and he's a senior, and he inspires me to be my best, and because I want to inspire him to be his best, and it motivates me to go on and do more. Like I said before, if we had not started this channel, we would not have known that he liked to do video editing. He wouldn't have known. He was playing video games, and he's always been into computers. He was doing robotics, and then he was doing engineering type things with computers. And then once we got into the channel, he's like, I really like doing this. I like videos. And then we realized he has a talent for it because his videos are just top notch. They blow us away every time. And the fact that he does it on his own, we just do the taping, we give the thing to him, and next thing you know, he comes up with a theme and an idea. And it's like, wow, how did you do this? So yeah, I'm inspired by my family and inspired by what the hobby has done for our family. It's brought us closer together because we work together. This is our family business and it's our family hobby. So yeah, I'm inspired.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And okay, so one last question. It's actually I just really wanted to know if you would like to, I don't know, say something to the women, or we have this nickname for the women that are with us, and we're over 200 women now in this
Wow.
group. Yeah, yeah, it's
Oh,
really,
that's
it's
awesome. Oh my
amazing.
goodness.
It's a lot. It's so amazing. So I don't know. We call them ligadas, which we could say that it means connected, as in a part of the group. So I don't know. Do you have any message to them?
Um, my message to women all around the world is to continue to be strong in what you do, strong in your conviction. I'm just so proud that you and your group of ligadas, is that the correct word?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm just so proud of them that they've come together to work together. And as women support each other, most importantly, too often, you get this backbiting. We're all on the same mission, to be better for ourselves and for our family and for our culture and for the world. Let's just work together. That's really what I want to see is women working together.
yeah. That's amazing. That's just, wow. I'm over the moon. I Yeah. I mean, that was just perfection.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This has been a joy. You have been a joy. Just thanks so much for having me on your show. I'm just excited.
And thank you so much for your time, for your kindness, for your being so receptive. I mean, I told you at the beginning, right before we have started, I was so nervous and I really wanted to talk to you, but I was like, oh my god, no, no, no. and and then I just did, and I just cannot believe it. And I really wanted you to know that you inspire me so
Oh,
much. I mean,
thank you.
I might get emotional. I'm getting emotional right now because um sometimes it's really hard for me to be in front of a camera,
Yeah,
right? To be the person talking. And when I see you,
yeah.
I'm like, man, she motivates me to keep
Oh my
going,
God.
you
Yeah.
know, to be like, yeah, because I see you, I see Mick, I see Grant, I see you all, and I'm like, they are choosing to make the difference.
Yeah.
They're choosing this. So maybe I
Oh my
can
God.
choose like this as well.
Yes, you have to. You have to. I mean, you've just touched my heart because this is why we do what we do, to see more people of color step out and be the change they want to see.
Yeah.
And you have to keep doing what you're doing. You have to. Okay. That would make me so proud. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you so much for existing, for doing what you're doing. You also have to keep going, to keep doing. And thank you
Yes.
so much.
Oh, thank you so much
So
for contacting and reaching out. And if you ever need us or want to say anything, just reach out. We are here.
Thank you so much for
You're
everything, for your time, for everything.
And tell your group, I'd love to see them one day, and tell them great and keep doing what they're doing and just keep moving on and supporting each other.
Exactly. That's the key. Always. Thank you so much. Have a lovely night.
All right, you do the same as well. And bye-bye. Let me see. Fernanda.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Thank you again. And you have a good one.
Thank you, Starla. Bye.
Bye.